What if you could have a latte, a yoga session, or even a place to work with colleagues on your next flight? Airbus's innovation lab, A-Cubed, has designed a modular system that would allow just that.
Airline aircraft configurations are quite static. It's really difficult to change them, so we're trying to make that process a lot easier and a lot simpler. We want to bring more types of experiences and more types of choice and personalization to the aircraft for passengers.
So basically making flying less terrible.
Instead of having to touch the actual airplane and the airframe and the aircraft structure, we've created this new intermediate layer for customization to happen. We can install a module in about 15 minutes or less. On night flights, you can have more places for people to rest, and on day flights, you could take those out and replace them with Workspace or a coffee bar or fitness area.
So what are we looking at here?
These are sleeper pods that we've created. In order to create an affordable experience for a lot of people, we need to have a certain level of passenger density. And so by being able to be very efficient in how we stack these sleeper bunks, it gives us the ability to offer premium economy price point.
So you would actually buy like a bed, you wouldn't buy a seat and a bed.
The idea is that you can buy use of a bunk for a couple hours or for the whole flight. For the time that you're not there, you can swap with somebody else, and then that person can take the turn in the bunk.
Have you tested it out? Like, how comfortable is it?
It is quite comfortable.
Yeah, I think I could definitely fall asleep here. I mean, I can also fall asleep on a plane anyway.
So one of the things that we've heard from people is that when they're traveling in groups, like for example with their family, current aircraft cabins aren't really designed to travel with other people, right? Because you're all in a row, you can't really have a conversation. So we wanted to create a space that was more designed for people to have interactions with people sitting across from them. And you could have a space like this to do arts and crafts or to draw a little bit. Another type of group that travels a lot are work colleagues. And so by having a place where they can collaborate, like this booth, they can prep for a meeting that they're flying to in a more purpose-built space than trying to talk over 3 different rows of people in a normal airplane.
So if you knew that you were going to be on a flight like in the middle of the day when you would normally be working, you would potentially buy a seat in this area and be able to get your work done and not worry about it. Whereas if you took a night flight, you would maybe buy one of the sleeping pods. I got it. Okay, this makes sense.
So this area is something we think would be really great if you have a family with younger kids. A common theme that you'll see in this aircraft mock-up is the idea of transforming spaces.
This is amazing. So I have a toddler. She cannot sit still. I can totally see her just crawling around here and probably crawling all over the rest of the space and causing trouble. But this is a really good idea.
For a large percentage of your time when you're on board an aircraft, the seatbelt sign is actually usually off. So as long as there are enough places for you to grab on and there's a place that you can get to strap in if there's any turbulence, there's actually no regulations that prohibit you from being able to spread out and have a little bit of fun.
There are no monitors here. Is that deliberate?
These are very different types of experiences, and you don't have to rely on too much crazy technology in order to distract people. You can just give people a new type of experience by virtue of the interactions they're having with the environment. So this is our restaurant module. This is our newest and highest tech module that we've built, and it's actually very, very close to being able to be put on an aircraft.
And so this space wouldn't have any windows?
We're trying to fly as soon as possible, and so rather than spend a lot of time to put windows back in, we're looking at new creative uses for space and surfaces. We have some artificial windows that we can project graphics onto.
And so people would just be standing at these little islands here to sip their coffee, and then they can go back to their seat?
Right now, it looks like it's pretty spacious. You can stand around these high tops and sip a glass of champagne. But for taxi takeoff and landing, these things actually convert into chairs. If you just wanted to sit down, you just take this, flip it down, and you've got yourself a seat.
Cool. Is there a seatbelt there?
Absolutely.
The design ensures no seat count is lost, and it's meant to keep the price point reasonable enough for economy travelers. Transpose is making serious design changes to an industry that hasn't evolved, while the demands of travelers have.